hot stove. And you're like,
What?
why does he say hot stove? What does that mean? Like, Brendan's probably like, what the hell are you talking about, hot stove?
I am thinking, what the hell are you talking about? That
Hot
is, in
stove.
fact, what I'm thinking.
Hot stove is what they call this time of year in baseball because they have a lot of general managers meetings and owners meetings going on, and usually this is where all the wheeling and dealing takes place. So you get a lot of trades. Now there's a couple trades today that happened, like a Yoenis Cespedes got traded from the Red Sox to somebody to Detroit for Porcello, the really good pitcher, young pitcher from Detroit. But we're not really going to talk about that. I really want to talk about just one deal in general, which was the biggest free agent coming out this year was Jon Lester. Now, last year he was traded from the Red Sox to the Oakland A's, and they were hoping he was going to help bolster their lineup for the playoff time, which he did, but they didn't make it past the wild card game, so that doesn't help very much. But he signed a 6-year, $155 million deal, and he signed this with the Cubs. Now, that is a really big number for a pitcher. Now, you had Clayton Kershaw, who signed a $215 million deal last year with the Dodgers, but I think that was more well-deserved because that guy we were talking about. Just go back and watch one of our Clayton Kershaw videos. That guy's been stellar. But you have Jon Lester, who really, I think he's getting overpaid by about $20-30 million. Now, I'm just going to run through some of his stats. He's 30 years old, so he's not an old guy. Not a young guy, but not an old guy. He's been in the league since 2006. Now, his overall record is 116-67 since 2006. Almost 2-1 wins to losses. Not bad, not amazing, not world beater, but good. Very solid pitcher. His ERA over his career, 3.58. Now, if you take into account that he plays in the AL, and it is harder to have a lower ERA, then you know what you say, good. If you're in between 3 and 4 ERA in the AL, you're doing a solid job. So okay, great stats. Good. Above average. Probably like a B plus, an 85 out of 100. Now in the last 2 years, or last year, he had a really, really good year. This is probably his best year last year, where he had a 2.46 ERA. Now he was only 16-11, but again he did switch teams and his Red Sox team that he was on was a horrible Red Sox team last year, so that's not too far there. But I think the real reason he's getting paid all this money, again about $20 to $30 million more than he really deserves, is because of his playoff record. Now, he's really good in the playoffs. Now, he's only 6-4. Now, granted, there's a lot less playoff games, but he's got a 2.57 ERA in the playoffs. Really, really good. And let's run down some of his playoff records. Now, in the ALDS, not Latter-day Saints, American League Division Series. We had that discussion again, video pass. He's 2-1, so that means in a 3-game series he's going to advance you. Good enough. That's all you need, really. I mean, you want to get to the next round, right? That's it. That's all you need. Now in the ALCS, he's only 1-3. That means in the 7-game series, you're probably not advancing if he's starting. So that's weird. But in the World Series, he is 3-0. So it's kind of weird. He's up and down in those series, but he's the best where it counts the most. So
when he gets there.
My opinion, yeah. Well, if you get there. And so my opinion is that he's a really good pitcher. Well, not a really. He's a very good pitcher, B-plus pitcher, that's very clutch when it comes to World Series. Now, the only problem with this is he just signed with the Cubs. And anybody who knows anything about the Cubs knows that they never do anything.
Hey, wait a second. Everything's come together.
Okay.
Cubs are going to win the World Series next year.
Oh, so they're going to break
how we know this? You know how we know this?
Because I'm predicting they won't.
That's what happened in Back to the Future, Part 2, which was set in 2015, which is next year.
I thought it was set in 2012.
No, 2015. Because it's 1985, 2015, 1955. They're all like, whatever, 20, 30 years apart.
So, all right, fine. The Cubs will win the World Series, as according to Back to the Future.
Yeah. As long as they didn't change the timeline too much.
Oh, Michael J. Uh-oh. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Was he overpaid? Is that a good value for the Cubs? Are the Cubs going to do anything? Or is it going to be Back to the Future syndrome and he is going to win the World Series just because a movie already predicted? Let us know what you think. Hit us up, comments down below. Of course, at Where's My Face on Twitter, Where's My Face at gmail.com, Google Plus and Facebook. Always good ways of getting a hold of us. But let's keep on moving.